Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to tell you how you can use the VLOOKUP, the HLOOKUP as well as the XLOOKUP function so that you can decide which is the right function for you to get the job done in the most efficient manner. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button, and for more Excel tutorials, don't forget to subscribe. So to get the information on the left hand side sheet, all you have to do is go to the first cell, type equal to VLOOKUP and open bracket. So now this information that you have right below the cells, this information, this is very important for you to understand. And the second you understand what these things are, VLOOKUP is going to become very easy for you to use. The first thing is lookup value. What does lookup value mean? Lookup value is what exactly is it that you're searching for. Now here's a pro tip. Always make sure that you're searching for a unique field. Now, if you don't know what a unique field is, I'll leave a link in the description below where I explain everything that you need to know about unique fields. So in this case, our best bet would be to go with the employee number. So our lookup value has become the employee number. Now go ahead and click on comma. The second detail that you need to find is table array. Table array essentially means where are you exactly searching for these values. So we are going to look for the value in this table, but when you are selecting the table, don't just select the employee number. You have to include the column that has the data that you want to actually bring into your new sheet. In our case, the sheet on our left. So that is the attendance column. So you have to make sure that you include the employee number field as well as the attendance field and everything in between, which is absolutely fine. You have selected 3 columns in this case. The employee number column was the first column, the second column was the name, and the third column is the attendance. And this is important for you to note when you're doing this step. And I'll get to why in just a second. Once you're done selecting the table, you're going to hit comma again, and now it's going to ask you for column index number. And this is where that column number comes in handy. In our case, we need to get the attendance information into the sheet on the left, and that was the third column. So I'm going to just type in 3, and the last part of it is range lookup, which means is it going to be an approximate match or an exact match. And in most cases, you're going to go for exact match. If it's an approximate match, there's going to be a lot of discrepancies in the data if you're dealing with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of lines. So in that case, you need to either type in false for exact match, or pro tip, you can just type in 0. It works the same. Go ahead and close the bracket and hit enter, and there you have it. You now have 30 attendance on Michael's record. Now I'll go back just for a second and click on the formula bar where I selected 3, and just to show you, just to demonstrate what would happen if I had put 2 instead, it will bring in Michael's name, because on the sheet on the right, from the data that we selected, if you remember, the first column was the employee number, the second column was name, and the third column was attendance. So if I click in second column here and hit enter, it should turn up Michael, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and undo that. We're back to column 3. All you have to do is copy it and paste it across all of your data, and you have the exact same information. As you can see, Matthew has 22 and Matthew has 22 here as well. Emily has 29 and Emily has 29 here as well. And likewise for Ashley. So as you can see from this employee number right here, I can get all of this information just by using VLOOKUP from this table. As soon as I change the employee number right here, all of the information below will change according to the table. The problem with VLOOKUP is that V from VLOOKUP stands for vertical. If the data set is not in the way it's looking right now, and if it's in a horizontal format, you cannot use VLOOKUP. That's where HLOOKUP comes in handy. H stands for horizontal, as you might have already guessed. So let's go into the H tab on your Excel sheet, and you can see here that the information here on the table is the exact same information that was on the first sheet, but right now it is placed in a horizontal format. I have the exact same data set here as well, but you can see that if I use VLOOKUP, it shows a NA error. So how do we go about getting the correct information? Go ahead and type equal to, type HLOOKUP. Now this information that's popped up right below is very important for you to understand. And if you understand this, it's going to be very easy for you to use HLOOKUP anytime, anywhere. So the first thing it asks for is lookup value. Lookup value is the exact unique field that you need to look for from one specific cell, and this exact same unique field also must be present in your data set from where you need to get the information. So in this case, our lookup value is going to be the employee number. Go ahead and click on it, and let's use the dollar sign to make it a constant. Go ahead and click on comma, and now you have table array. Table array is the location where you need to get the information from. In our case, we are starting with the employee number because that's what we are searching for, and we need all of this information, and go ahead and select the entire table where this is present. Go ahead and click on comma. The next thing that it's asking for is called row index number. Now row index number is the numerical number of the row from which you need to get the answer. In our case, we are looking for the name from the employee number. This is the table that we have selected, and therefore row number 1 would be the employee number, row number 2 would be the name, and right here we need name. So we go ahead and type 2. Go ahead and type comma, and the last option is going to be exact match or approximate match. We need the exact match because there should not be any difference, any variance in the two different data sets that we have selected. So you can either type false or you can type 0 for the exact same effect and close the bracket. You can now see that this employee number belongs to James. If I change the employee number to the first one, it will change to Michael. Let's now go ahead and quickly add in the department, the designation and the salary as well. So go ahead again and type HLOOKUP. Open the bracket. Lookup value is going to be the same. Go ahead and click on comma. The table array is also going to be the same. The row index number is now going to be 3 because the third column is where you're going to get the department. Go ahead and type 3, comma, 0, close the bracket and enter. You can see now that Michael works in customer support. Same thing for designation. Type equal to HLOOKUP. The lookup value is going to be the exact same employee number, comma, table array is going to be this location right here, comma, row index number in this case is going to be 4, comma, and this time we'll use false just so that you know that it works the exact same way. Now for salary, just for the sake of example, let's choose the name as the primary lookup value. Go ahead and type HLOOKUP. Go ahead and select the name. Select the table array starting from Michael. Select the entire table, and this time salary is the 4th row. You can see that the first row is the name, second row is the department, third row is the designation, and fourth row is the salary. Type 4, comma 0 and close the bracket, and you can see that Michael's salary is now 43,000 just as shown below. Now you can go ahead and change the employee number to anything you want, and all the fields will automatically update using your HLOOKUP formula. But now what happens if you change the range lookup from 0 or false to true? Let's go ahead and change and try that. You can see that the salary is now showing 48,000 where Michael is actually withdrawing 43,000. The reason for this is it starts the search from the right hand side of your table array, and if you go to the right hand side, we can see that Megan, who's getting 48,000, is considered to be an approximate match according to Excel. This is the reason that I don't recommend using approximate match in most cases for beginners, but for experts and advanced level users, there might be some use case scenarios where you use this approximate match feature. Let's go ahead and go back and select Michael this time, copy this information and paste it in the last column. You can see now that Michael has been moved to the last column, drawing 43,000. And if we go to the top, we should see that Michael's 43 is now reflected right here using the HLOOKUP formula, even though we have set the formula to approximate match. XLOOKUP only works with Microsoft 365. It does not work with the older versions of Excel at this time. If you want to follow along, this Excel sheet will be available in the description below, where you can download and practice along. In the basic 1 tab, we have a list of employee numbers and their corresponding names. On top, in column F, we have a drop-down list of all the employee numbers. Now the question is, how do we get the name of this employee number? In this case, it's very easy to just use VLOOKUP to find the name of the employee, just like this. But the other way to do it is by using the XLOOKUP formula. To do this, type equal to XLOOKUP, and below the cell you can see a list of required fields that we need to fill up. You can now also see that some of the fields are in square brackets, like if not found, match mode and search mode. We'll get to that in a little bit, but just know that the meaning of the square bracket is that it's not a required field, it's a field that you need to fill up if you want or need to. The required fields for XLOOKUP are lookup value, lookup array and return array. You should also know that if you don't want to use the formula in this way, you can go up to the formula bar and there is a button called insert function or FX. You can click on that and you can select different options right here. So we can go ahead and click on show all functions. We can search by typing XLOOKUP and click on the XLOOKUP. Now we have the XLOOKUP formula right here, and it will show you all the fields just like I showed you earlier, such as lookup value, lookup array, return array, if not found, match mode, and so on. It will also show you down below how the formula works and what's the syntax. Now we are not going to be using the formula builder because this is not for those of us who want to increase our efficiency. This actually slows down the process of using Excel. So we're going to close this down and go back to the cell and type XLOOKUP again and understand what lookup value means. Lookup value is that data set that we need to search for. So in our case, it's going to be the employee number. Click on comma, and lookup array is going to be where we are going to be searching for this data. In our case, the employee numbers are all listed here. So we select that entire column. Click comma, and the third option that you need to find is the return array. Return array is the item that we want to pull into this cell based on our search criteria. What we need to pull in this case is the name. So we go ahead and select the entire column. As you can see, we have got Sarah as the name for this employee number. Now if we change the employee number, you can see that all of the employee names are getting updated automatically. Now let's move on to the sheet called Basic 2. This sheet is the exact same as the first sheet, except now I've put the name as the first column and the employee number as the second column. Now let's try using VLOOKUP the exact same way that we would normally use it. So in our case, we are going to be selecting the 2 columns as we would using VLOOKUP, and column index number will be 2 and 0. You can see that it turns over a NA error. This is because the result that we need, which is the employee name, is on the left hand side of the employee number, which is the lookup value. This was one of the biggest issues with VLOOKUP. Now with XLOOKUP, however, we can return values that are to the left of the lookup value as well. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. Type equal to XLOOKUP. Lookup value is going to be the employee number, comma, lookup array is going to be what we are looking for. So in our case is going to be the employee number column, comma, return array is going to be the name column, and you can just close the bracket or just hit enter, and you can now see that it's thrown up Christopher. Again, we can change the employee number to check that everything works as it should. Let's move on to the tab Basic 3, and in this tab we have the exact same data but in a horizontal format. Now you might be wondering, why don't you use HLOOKUP? HLOOKUP has the exact same issue that VLOOKUP has, meaning that in this case we are not able to use HLOOKUP because the name which we need to return is above the employee number. So in this case, if we had the employee name below the employee number, we can use HLOOKUP to return the correct name in our yellow cell. But since we have it above the employee number, we cannot use HLOOKUP. So let's go ahead and create the formula. Type equal to XLOOKUP, and the lookup value is going to be the employee number, comma, lookup array is going to be the second row, which is the employee number. Select the entire row, comma, we now need to find the return array, which is the name row. Select the entire row and hit enter, and you can see that the names have now been populated. We can change again the employee numbers to make sure everything is working properly. Let's move on to the not found tab. And here you can see that I've added more information to the table apart from the employee number and employee name. In this sheet, we are going to be finding the salary using the name of the employee. I've used the name field in this case just so that it's easier to understand, even though it might not be an ideal field to use as a lookup value. Let's go ahead and type XLOOKUP. We're going to be searching for the name. The lookup array is going to be here in the name column, and we're going to be searching for the return array as the salary column. You can see that Michael is drawing 40,000. But now, if we misspell this name with two L's, it's going to be throwing up a NA error. So this is where the fourth field comes in handy. When we type comma now, it's going to ask you if not found. So if not found is asking you what Excel should do if the criteria that you're looking for is not found within the formula. So in our case, Michael with two L's does not exist in the table. So we're going to return a value saying that this employee does not exist. To do this, start with a quote and say employee does not exist. Close the quotation, close the bracket, and you're good to go. Likewise, if we say Jennifer, it should give the correct salary, but if we change the spelling in any way, it should say employee does not exist. Now let's move into the search mode tab. In this tab, what I've done is include the monthly salary that each employee has received over a period of 3 months. It starts from January and goes up to March. Up here, we have the employee number with a drop-down list. We have the name, which is already populated with the XLOOKUP formula, and we need the last drawn salary. Let's look at Michael, for example. Michael's salary during the month of January was 40,000. Michael's salary during the month of February was 37,000. But Michael's salary during the month of March was 43,000. So how do we get this last drawn salary? We need to go ahead and type equal to XLOOKUP again. Lookup value will be employee number this time. The lookup array is going to be the employee numbers. The return array is going to be the monthly salary. And if I just close the bracket here, it's going to show me the first drawn salary, which is 40,000 in the month of January. This is because XLOOKUP always returns by default the first item that it finds on a dataset. So to get the last drawn salary, we go back into the formula into the optional fields. I've just showed you how if not found works. We are not going to be using that function right now. Click on comma again to skip through that. Match mode is something we will get to in the next example. And click on comma again, and here you can see that it's asking for the search mode. You can return data either by search first to last, by search last to first, by binary search, or by binary search descending order. In our case, to get the last drawn salary, we need last to first. You can either go to -1 and hit the tab, or just type -1. Now you can see that it's showing up 43,000 as the result for the last drawn salary. In the beginning, we had the formula looking like this, without any of the optional functions. Now if we go ahead and type the 3 commas and say first to last, it's going to give you the same answer as what it was without this optional entry, because it's the default. Now let's head on to the match mode tab and see how match mode works. In this sheet, we're going to try to calculate how much is the bonus that is to be paid out to each employee for the month of March. We have the exact same data as the previous set. Up here we have the employee numbers that can be selected from the drop-down list, name, which is generated by the XLOOKUP formula, salary, which is generated by the XLOOKUP formula, but from last to first, because we're going to be calculating the bonus based on what is the last salary drawn by the employee. Then we have the bonus field, which is what we need to calculate. Down here is the March payout, which is nothing but the monthly salary and the bonus. You may have also noticed that there is a table here which shows what is the bonus to be paid out to each employee based on their salary bracket. This table shows that anyone receiving a salary of 0 all the way up to 9,999 is going to get a bonus of 10,000. Anyone who's getting a salary of 10,000 all the way up to 49,999 will get a bonus of 25,000. And anyone getting 50,000 or more will get a bonus of 50,000. To calculate this, we go ahead and type XLOOKUP. And now our lookup value is going to be the salary itself, because we need to find out the bonus based on the salary. That's why we're looking for the salary field. Type comma, and the lookup array in this case is going to be the salary more than field. The reason for this is because we are going to search the salary of each employee in relation to the salary bracket to calculate the bonus. I hope that is clear. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section so I can clarify it. Go ahead and type comma, and now we need to find the return array. Return has to be the bonus itself, and the bonus is going to be this, and the bonus is going to be based on the bracket of each employee's current salary. Type comma, we are not interested in if not found. Type comma again, and now we have the match mode. By default, it's going to be exact match. All of this time, all of these previous sheets, we have not used the match mode. We have either just typed comma or we've just closed the bracket without getting to this point at all. So by default, when we do those things, it's going to get 0 or exact match. So Matthew is drawing a salary of 7,000, right? So let's just come down here and understand that if he is getting 7,000, he should not be getting 50,000 bonus. He should not be getting 25,000 bonus. He should be getting a bonus of 10,000 because his salary is between 0 and 9,999. But here on this table, we don't have 7,000 as an option. So we need to either find this 7,000 here or what is less than 7,000. So in our case, we are going to go with exact match or the next smaller item. So type -1, or you can go down here and hit tab. We are not going to be fussed about the search mode, so go ahead and close the bracket. You can now see that the bonus has been calculated as 10,000 for Matthew. Now what if this cell here says less than? That means if an employee is getting less than 50,000 up to 9999, he gets 50,000 bonus. If the employee is getting less than 9999 up to 0, gets 25,000, and so on. And obviously this doesn't make sense, it's just an example. But in that case, we want 25,000 as the answer because this employee is getting below 9999. So in that case, what we would do is go back here and see the options. You can see that there is an option called exact match or next larger item. So here in our case, Matthew is getting a salary of 7,000 and the next larger item is 9999, and in that case he will receive a bonus of 25,000. So we can go again, type 1 or get to this option and type tab. Hit enter and you can see that bonus is now calculated as 25,000. Let's undo that and let's go and check if all of the data is now working. Select any employee from the drop down list. You can see that this is the employee number for Emily. And if we go down to March salary drawn by Emily, it is 26,000 indeed. We should also understand that anyone drawing a salary of 26,000 fits into this bracket right here and should get a bonus of 25,000. We've got the bonus of 25,000 here using our XLOOKUP formula, and you can see that the March payout will be the sum of these two, showing a total of 51,000. For more quick Excel tutorials, click here on this playlist and get started. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more Excel tutorials. My name is Kenneth, you're watching Boss Your Office. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.